Hi everyone, how are you doing? In this video, what I would like to discuss with you is the functions of art and philosophical perspective on art. So, as an introduction, all arts have function. For man, the maker creates things because he has a particular need for them. So, for example, you are creating an art we call architecture, no? So the building has a function, so that's why we can say that all arts have functions. So maybe in music or painting, all of these art forms have functions. So within art there exist purposes referred to as functions. So when we talk about function, it refers to purpose for which a piece of art may be created or designed, no? So no art can be assigned a function either in scholarly studies or casual conversation outside of the proper context. Art forms exist within very specific contexts that must be considered when classifying them. Whether a particular piece of art has existed for centuries or has yet to be created, it is functional in some way. All art exists for reason, and these reasons make up the function of art. Now let's uh, try to see from a philosophy, no? So let's talk about philosophical perspective on art, and we will ask the ideas, then the wisdom coming from these two known philosophers, Plato and Aristotle. Aristotle claimed that every particular substance in the world has an end, or telos in Greek, which translates into in English purpose. So meaning everything is designed to to have a function or to have a purpose. No? I mean every substance, no, that is, or any form of matter, no, it moves according to a fixed path towards its aim. So uh, there is a what we call goal, no? So purpose, no? So this purpose or telos is intricately linked with function, no? For a thing to reach its purpose, it also has to fulfill its function, no? So Aristotle considered art as an aid to philosophy in revealing the truth. So that's what Aristotle understands about art, no? Art is connected to purpose or function. It helps in revealing the truth, no? Like the art provides us a lot of informations on the meaning of life, on the meaning of reality, or our understanding of the world, no? Art has provided so many truths about what this life is all about. On the other hand, according to Plato, art is an imitation. What do you mean by this? The work of the artist or artisan is to copy or imitate the idea eternal, immutable for one thing, no? Meaning they are just imitating the real, the eternal, the immutable reality, no? The artist proceeds by imitation, but also what copy is the sensible things is that is already that is real in that world of form. So meaning you are the artist is just simply, for example, a painting. A painting is a replica of a replica. So like for example, Vincent van Gogh painted the beautiful scenery in nature. For Aristotle, that that nature that we see is just a replica of what is real in the world of forms, in the world of ideas. So when you perceive the nature, when an artist perceives the nature and paints it, that painting is a replica of a replica. And that is for Plato. That's how Plato see art as an imitation, meaning what does it tells us that instead of approaching the truth, it increases the distance that separates us from reality, that is in the world of form. I don't know if you were able to grasp what Plato think that uh, for example, a chair, you see a chair, but the real chair is in the world of form, meaning in your own idea. This chair is only a reflection of what is in the world of idea about your chair. So when a painter or when an artist paints a chair or creates a chair, it's just a an imitation of what is in the world of the mind, or in the world of form, the world of idea, your idea of a chair. That is for Plato, that is the truth, no? So you are just simply copying something that is in the world of ideas, in the world of the mind. So that is what Plato understands about art. Okay, art as an imitation. So I guess I hope it might help see the philosophical perspective on art. So now let's proceed to the functions of art. There are three categories when we talk about functions of art. Ideally, one can look at a piece of art and guess with some accuracy where it came from and when. This best case scenario also includes identifying the artist because they are in no small way part of the contextual equation. You might wonder what was the artist thinking when they created this. When you see a piece of art, you, the viewer, are the other half of this equation. You might ask yourself how that same piece of art makes you feel as you look at it. So when you look at the painting, what does it tells you? And so this, in addition to the time, period, location of creation, culture, are all factors that should be considered before trying to assign functions to art. Taking anything out of context can lead to misunderstanding art and misinterpreting an artist's intentions, which is never something you want to do. So for example, a painting, you should know all that I have mentioned before you identify what is really the function, what is really the purpose of that particular painting. So the function of arts normally fall into, as I have mentioned, three categories: physical function of art, physical, then social, and also personal. So let's start to talk about the first category, the physical function of art. So when we talk about the physical function of art, it is often the easiest way to understand. No? Works of art that are created to perform some service have physical function. For example, a building. No? So it has a design. No? If it has a design, so it is not just simply create a function, but it has also an aesthetic value. No? But you know that the function of that building is probably for shelter or for gathering, exclusive gathering, or it all depends on whether it is for business or for leisure. So leisure, like for example, it is a movie house, no? So in the simplified course pack, I have an example of Fujian War Club. You may assume that however wonderful the craftsmanship may be, it was created to perform the physical function of smashing skulls. So that's as I have said, the physical function of art is the easiest to understand. Next is social. Okay, function of art. The social function of art is that um, art has a social function when it addresses aspect of uh, collective life as opposed to one's uh, person's point of view or experience. So viewers can often relate in some way to social art and are sometimes even influenced by it. So in the simplified course pack, I have an example there, but uh, it, the 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 point here is that one cannot conceive of a society without art, for art is closely related to every aspect of social life. No? Art performs a social function when it influences social behavior. It is created to be seen or used primarily for public situations, meaning through art, man learns to love and help each other. So when it influences, no, influences social behavior, you want to inform the public about a certain behavior that we need to adapt in order to improve, or in order that it will help in the nation buildings, something like that. The last category is personal. That is personal, no, meaning personal function of art, and this personal function of art is often the most difficult to explain. No? There are many types of personal function, and these are highly subjective. So personal function of art are not likely to be the same from person to person. So an artist may create a piece out of a need for self-expression or gratification. So that is what it means by personal function of art. No? So the artist might also or instead want to communicate a thought or point to the viewer. Sometimes an artist is only trying to provide an aesthetic experience, no, both for self and viewers. A piece might be meant to entertain, provoke thought, or even have no particular effect at all. So that's why it is said that the personal function of art is the most often the most difficult to explain because of its subjectivity. Okay, so now let's proceed to this point. Let's talk about determining the function of art. In determining the function of art, the the functions of art apply not only to the artist that created a piece, but to you as the viewer. Your whole experience and understanding of it should contribute to the function you assign it, as well as everything that you know about its context. Next time you are trying to understand a piece of art, try to remember these uh, 4 points. Number one, the context. No? I always uh, told you about the importance of understanding the context. Never ignore the context when you try to interpret a work of art. No? Second, personal. Third, social. And number four, physical function. Remember that some art serves only one function, and some all three, perhaps even more. No? Okay, so aside from the ones that we mentioned, there are a lot of things that we can say that there are other forms of other functions of art. Now let's proceed to the relationship of form and function. The point here is that the function of an object is generally determined in the basic form that it takes. No? So for example, a chair is so designed as to allow the seated body to rest comfortably on it. The size, the shapes, and different parts are harmoniously related to one another and integrated into an object that fulfills and tells about their particular purpose. So the form also helps as one of the components, or helps in determining the function of an art. Okay, so that's all for my discussion about the functions of art and the philosophical perspective on art. So thank you for listening.